I'm Bruno, drummer of Karkaza.
I'm Lilia. I play guitar and sing in Karkaza.
Cool. Um, why Karkaza? This name?
Okay, so Karkaza is what I came up with. So back in 2015, I was in a museum with Southeast Asian art, and they had a lot of really cool words. One of them was Karkaza. I found out it means tough, brutal, callous, strong, unyielding. So I thought, oh, that's a really cool word. And on top of that, the meaning is so metal that it made me want to use it for the band. So I just kept the name in mind for a while. Our band actually formed in mid 2016. So that whole time I was like, oh, when I finally find band members, I'm gonna call it Karkaza.
I saw you have a scorpion like pattern. What?
Yeah, yeah, over here, the scorpion tattoo. And we also use that as the band logo too.
Yeah, we use that as our logo because it's in her arm.
Yeah. So I got the scorpion to symbolize just the idea of living for what you want.
Yeah.
Similar to the meaning of that word Karkaza, just being like very unyielding about what you want in your life. So got that basically to symbolize that idea.
Being a rock star, is this your dream job?
Yeah, not a dream job. You start the band uh, with the intention of showing your music, right? Recording your ideas and moving forward. This thing of rockstar, it comes as a bonus. You make progress. You release a demo, then the first album, then the second album. As you move forward, this thing of people liking your music, attending the shows, and giving you this feedback that makes this rock star aura is a bonus of your work. It's like being recognized of your work.
Oh yeah, basically,
Is this?
it if you start a band with the intention of I just want to be a rock star,
Uh,
then that's kind of the wrong mentality. You need to start working with music because you love music, you have a passion for sharing your work with others. So if you start just with the idea of getting fame and material gain, you're kind of setting yourself up for failure in the beginning. It really should be fueled by the passion for the art itself. And then any other material gain or fame or recognition should come as a side effect of that, an extra perk, but it shouldn't be the one reason why you started in the first place.
What makes you want to move in Auburn from California?
Okay.
to move to Alabama.
Yes.
Yeah, there. Not just us. Many artists and celebrities are moving out of California. So it's a thing that is happening. We were just one of them. California is having a lot of problems with overpopulation, taxes,
Inflation of
inflation,
prices
and
too.
those wildfires.
Yeah,
You know,
wildfires are a problem. Wildfires and heat waves are becoming a really big
yeah.
problem.
So it was much like problems not with the band, nothing. It was problems with the state that made us uh, go somewhere else, and also the fact that our band was you reach a point in your career as a band that you don't have to be attached, you don't have to stay somewhere. You reach a certain point that you can go anywhere you want, and things were getting hard in California for everybody. Environment, taxes,
No,
too many things. Then we said, let's go somewhere else because now we can go.
And what makes you like about heavy metal music? Like all these type of rock music, then you choose heavy metal.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I guess the specific energy that it has. It has a balance between just raw energy, some aggression, some of the more brighter emotions. So I feel like you can incorporate any kind of energy or emotion you want in it. And then in addition to that, there's a lot of room for incorporating elements of other styles to it, because heavy metal can be either fairly simple or fairly complex. So we have a lot of room to go anywhere from the simple to the complex or anywhere in between, and incorporate elements of other genres that
The first moment that you choose to be in a heavy metal band, that moment you like, I have to be in a heavy metal band.
Yeah. Also, MTV back in the day was a big part of it. I One of the first shows I watched on TV was a Kiss show. Was It was live in Detroit, Brooklyn Bridge, '96.
Okay.
I watched. I was too young in '96, but I watched later. So I watched that show and I said, "Hey, that's very cool. Look at that drummer. Look at that. Yeah, I that got in my head. But I didn't play. I was not playing anything at the time. I just saw. I just watched that show on MTV, Kiss. Then oh, that is a good thing to do. Then years later, yeah, I start playing in these bands. My mom gave me an old guitar.
Can you describe a typical day of being in a rock band?
You mean on the road or
Like
record?
everything, like
Ah,
sort
write
of
songs,
depends.
perform.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, it kind of depends whether we're in performing mode or recording mode at the time. Because, for example, when recording an album, we will set aside like 1 to 2 weeks to just focus on the recording. So that way, pretty much just wake up, get ready, and after lunchtime, we head over to record from about like the 1 to maybe like 8 or 9 o'clock, because we just try to crank out as much as possible in each recording session. We'd rather make a few long sessions for a week than to do like 2 hours a day, but stretch it out for like 2 months. So we're very focused when we record albums, really just like, keep cranking it out. And then when we are performing, so rock shows usually happen at night. You're not very likely to get a gig in the morning. So
yeah.
kind of similar, we will like wake up and get ready. Depending on how far away the show is, we might have to leave like right after lunchtime or a little bit later in the day. But yeah, in a show, first you go and you have a specific call time that you need to be there, and the stage manager just explains how the show will go, like if you need to watch out for anything. Then you will wait for your turn to do the sound check. Usually there are other bands in the show too, so you watch the other bands play. When it's your turn to sound check, you do that. Then you do your set list. It's always the best part of any the best part of being in any band is when you get to perform. And then after you're done performing, you can watch some of the other bands too.
Yeah, this then end of the show, lights off. You head somewhere to have dinner
Yeah,
with
we
the
go.
staff, with your crew
We
members.
always do
Some
that.
bands don't do that. Like the staff goes somewhere else and the rock star goes somewhere else to eat. No, we like to hang out with the photographer, the driver. We go to a restaurant, everybody all together, and talk about the show, talk about the next shows, and then
Yeah.
we go home, or home to the hotel actually sometimes.
Yes, depending on where the
Depending
show
on where
is.
we are.
Depending on whether it's local or not
Yeah.
local, we might either go back home or to a hotel. And sometimes we make friends with other bands too, and just
Yeah.
stay in touch and try to do shows together
Yes.
later.
What about the performance? Like, do you think it's about the audience or it's about an accomplishment of your work?
Playing the show live is the reward for your work has a band. Is the best part of the band. Now, if you interview other bands, the other guys, they're gonna tell you the same thing. Is the best part of the job is playing live. All the rest is work, is driving, is waiting. But the best part of the job is playing live for the audience. You do everything for that moment of going on stage, pretty much. So yeah, it's very, yeah, it's exciting. You know, screams, all that. It's very cool. And yes, that too. You have the chance of showing the music that you spend hours recording and rehearsing. And it's this pretty good. We released the new album last year, 2020, but we didn't get to play shows to promote this album because of this thing going on. Our last show that we played live was February of 2020.
Yeah, one
So,
year.
being a rock band, what do you think about the pros and cons?
What's
Pros is this interaction, feedback, energy on stage, uh, yeah, putting your ideas out there and having this feedback, having people watching you on the TV and sending you a picture, people buying your CD and enjoying your music, and yeah, telling you that making sure that they love it. That's pretty. That's pretty cool. You know, that's a trophy. That's a reward. The cons is the work you have to put on that.
Yeah. Recording can I find recording can be either sometimes fun, sometimes a real drag. Like in a
Uh,
typical 8-hour recording session, there are moments where we're like, it's very encouraging to hear your music start to take shape. But there are other moments where you're just very frustrated. There might be like a 1 second of the music that you just can't get quite right and need to keep redoing over and over just for that 1 or 2 seconds to be perfect.
Also, I saw the music video about your song 2020. I think it's a very interesting like idea that you want to put out there. So, uh, what do you think about the general expression idea about Karkaza?
Okay, yeah, that particular music video for 2020 was interesting because I originally wrote the lyrics to be through the perspective of that coronavirus, talking about how he is destroying the world, kind of personifying the virus. But after writing them, I realized that it could apply to all the other major world issues we've seen in 2020, like with the racial riots and tension and with the environmental disasters. We saw a lot of hurricanes and wildfires in 2020 as well. And so lyrics that I originally wrote to personify the destruction of the virus could also be applied to personify the general turmoil of the world in that year. So what we wanted to express with that is that the tension occurring in the world and something that everyone can relate to.
What about your other songs?
Okay, yeah, and the new album we have a lot of different songs. So this was the first one where we also made a ballad where I actually sing clean because I'm known for really grunting, like grunting the and growling the whole time. So incorporating a ballad with clean vocals was a different step for us, which was cool.
yeah.
For example, like Burn It Down and Temporary Insanity, both of those I wrote about the situation where someone else is trying to break you down and you're trying to hold on to who you are and resist them. So I say in a general, our music has always had a lot to do with that because as a musician, you might get a lot of backlash from people saying, "Why are you a musician? That's not a good job. You should do something else."
Uh,
So our music
you hear that?
our music reflects that mentality of trying to hold on to who you are and resisting all the tension and backlash around you.
Yeah.
Is it anything else? Like interesting things that you want to bring up, talk about?
Uh, yeah. For example, we can encourage. That's one thing I always like to do in interviews is encourage kids to start. You know, because they see some of them, some of our students sometimes, because we have this back that this feedback from them is this they ask us how to start, how do I start, how you guys got there, you know. So I always like to encourage kids to start their bands, to start something, you know, because once you get there, once you make it, it's very rewarding. So I would just like to encourage. all of you guys are watching this interview in Auburn University to start something. Find your friends. I play guitar, you play bass, so let's go and get out there because it's worth trying for sure.
Yeah, definitely to start, because a lot of people's immediate concern when they think about career in music are the economics of it. But if income is your concern, there are a lot of things you can do within music to support yourself financially while still fulfilling your personal and artistic goals. So you shouldn't be completely pushed away by that aspect of it. And a life, I think we're all just trying to find our passions and find a way to support ourselves financially and materialistically while pursuing those passions, and have a balance of everything and just balancing our lifestyle. So whatever you're really passionate about, if it's music, don't be afraid to just start it. And if you have enough faith in yourself and what you're doing, everything will just come together. Everything from the income to the ability to perform and record and present your work and express yourself through music will all come together. It doesn't happen all at once. You have to have some patience to put all the pieces together. But after a while, when the pieces start coming together more, you start to see it, you feel extremely rewarded by your ability to live through your passion.
But just start. Get your friends around you and put your ideas out there. Don't be afraid of making a mistake. This didn't work. It's okay. Try it again. That's our message.
Okay, cool. That's all my questions.
Okay, great.
Oh,
Alrighty, well, thanks so much.
Thanks so much.
thank
Yeah.
you so much. I appreciate your help.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, we really like giving interviews actually. So we
Yeah.
hope a lot of people at Auburn University are inspired by
Yeah.
this
Thank
one.
you, Auburn.
Thank you. Thank you,
And
Karkaza.
go more Eagles.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm very excited to see your shows like after pandemic in Auburn.
Yeah, well, they are on the horizon. In the early summer, we're gonna head up to Nashville for a meeting to
Yeah.
start organizing a tour of the southern states. So
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you very much.